Have you ever wondered how some people are able to scale their business overnight? Well, today I'm going to tell you exactly how I used Alex Hormozi principles to scale my real estate brokerage. Now, for context, Alex Hormozi is a self-made multi-millionaire. He has founded many successful businesses and done over £100 million in sales. He's one of the people that I watch a lot when it comes to building a business, systems, and scaling. And I'm going to show you how I apply this to my business and how you can as well. So I want to break this video down into 4 key elements. Number 1, how I use his principles to attract more property investors, and that's essentially generating better leads. Number 2, how I use his principles to target a different segment of the market. Number 3, how I used the offers from his 100 million offers book to now increase my offer that I'm delivering to my client that will create me a better USP. And number 4, how I used his strategies of systems and scaling to help grow my business, which quadrupled the revenue in just 1 year. If you're in a similar position and you've got a property business in which you're looking to scale, please watch the video to the end so you can get some valuable insights. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So the first thing I'm going to go over is his lead generation strategies. So in his book, 100 Million Leads, he goes over 4 key ways: partnerships, paid referrals, organic marketing, and paid advertising. And I'm going to break them down one by one and how I apply it to my business. So number 1 is paid ads. This is something that I'll call at the top of the funnel. Now with my business, I use a lot of ads when it comes to targeting a certain clientele, because although a lot of clients can come through your LinkedIn outreach or Facebook groups outreach, I thought if I wanted to scale the business, why not do ads? So I do a mix of Facebook ads and Google ads. And the reason that this is so cool is because these platforms collect data very specific, from what you search to your key habits to the areas that you live in. So I now know if I've got a deal, for example, let's say in Birmingham for a first-time buyer, I can now run ads to Birmingham for those who are searching around first-time buyers, about mortgages, which will now attract my ideal clientele. Similar with Google ads, what people are searching. If people are searching where's the best area to buy, I can now put ads which will now attract them to my market. Now, a lot of you are probably asking, what type of ads do you put out? And with this, it's all about testing, right? So I'm not an ads expert, but what I'll do is I'll test different creatives, where it could be of me talking about why Birmingham was a good area, why London's a good area, or it could be something like a lead magnet. So for those who don't know, a lead magnet is essentially a bit of value that I can get out there. For example, a PDF on here are the 5 key reasons to invest into London. And then from that, someone might sign up. When they now sign up, my team will now call them and they now become a potential client. So this is like one of the many ways that I've used his strategy and applied it to paid advertising. Now, the importance of this is that this saves time. Instead of now having to use a virtual system or someone else in your team to reach out to investors manually, you're literally getting a lot of inbound traffic coming in. So from last month, it only cost me £194 to acquire a customer, and each customer was on average spending around £8,000 with us. So as you can see, it's a massive ROI on the business. So the second way is, as I mentioned, organic social media content. So this is a mix of content and outreach. So as you guys know, I post quite a bit on LinkedIn, Instagram, and now YouTube, because in today's society, being online is like your own personal CV, right? So with me, I'm always posting content to attract my potential buyers, whether it's the latest deals I have on my story, whether it's the events I'm going to, whether it's just showing my expertise. Because again, through social media, people always search on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, where they can find this knowledge. Even myself, I've noticed that when I'm looking to invest into something or to gain insight, where I used to use Google as my priority, now I'm using other platforms such as Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So I said to myself, okay, cool, how can I make myself available on multiple platforms so I can attract different types of buyers? Now, the reason I say it goes hand in hand with outreach is because content alone won't just get you buyers. But what we have a system in place is that when people follow me on, for example, my business account, someone in my team now messages them and then become a client. Because sometimes people don't actually want to reach out. They just follow it to show their interest. But again, if you now have a system in place where you can now immediately reach out to them, that's going to now get more buyers into your business. So that's the second one. Organic content mixed with outreach. Now again, with these outreach strategies, you can use LinkedIn, Facebook and stuff as well. But again, it only makes sense when you have a good content strategy. Now, the reason this is important is because when people buy off you, even if it's from ads, content is so important, because one thing I've noticed with clients is, despite seeing myself online, through an ad or through a bit of content, they always do their research. They'll look at your website, they'll look at previous content. So you now having your own portfolio will allow you to be more trustable for the client, and therefore they're going to work with you. The third way is through referral marketing. Now, one thing I always tell people is treat every customer as if all your future customers will come from that one customer. And with that, you can offer them great incentive. So with a lot of my clients, when I work with them, I always offer them incentive. If you recommend me to one of your other investors or other friends, you get a percentage off your next deal. Now again, that's not going to bring more word of mouth traffic. And that's why even now, although we do ads and organic outreach sometimes, I'll say the majority of my traffic actually comes from word of mouth. That's because property is a people's game. So the more you're able to offer more incentives and actually deliver a great service to your client, they're going to now allow you to grow through just naturally them talking about it to their friends and people that they know. Especially in today's society, we're in a trust recession. So with a lot of people who are buying high-end products or high-end services, they're normally more comfortable buying it once they know someone that they know and trust has used it. So if you can now allow your client to build that trust with you, where they will recommend it to their friend or their family member, it can be a great ROI on your business. Now, lastly, it's called partnerships and affiliates. Now, this is so key, and you've probably seen it on my last video. If not, click a few videos back and you'll see it, how I closed £20,000 commission whilst working with a private jet broker. And that goes into my last one, how you can work with partnerships and affiliates. Now, one thing you got to understand with property is that people always will end up with property, but that to them is a very big purchase. However, they might be more comfortable in purchasing stuff like a private jet service, a concierge service, and things like that. So again, I said to myself, where has my ideal clientele? And as I mentioned, concierges, private jet, dog walking services, different people who serve high-end clients. So I said to myself, how can I now build that relationship with them where they can now give me regular business coming in? So again, with these clients, I always work with people in the different industries where I can now use their clients, they use my clients, and we can offer some kind of split to work together. This is so key, again, because it saves you time having to now get a client and trust them, because again, with property, they're making one of the biggest purchases of their life. So if they can now work with someone who they've used before for a high-end service, they're going to very much trust you again with your service. Now, the reason I think this is key is because when you can now get someone who is paid for a high-end service, such as a private jet broker, they're now going to have that same trust to now work with you. And that creates a win-win situation. The client's happy, you're happy, and the partner's happy, because everyone will get their own benefit in some way or another. So that's the 4 key ways of lead generation. Now, the second way Alex Hormozi helped my business is by working with what he calls rich clients. And he's got a famous saying, work with rich clients, they pay better. And I completely agree with that. I think when starting my property sourcing journey, the majority of deals that I was sourcing were for beginners, people who were getting into rent-to-rent, getting into self-accommodation, and all those strategies. Now, those strategies are amazing. I've got my own rent-to-rents myself. However, a lot of people who are looking for these properties are often beginners, unless it's someone like a company or an experienced provider who's got multiple units, right? So one thing I've noticed is that a lot of these people, they might have heard about the strategy through an online course or through a YouTube video, and they have exceptionally high expectations, and they become so difficult. Now, not only this, but with a rent-to-rent deal, these clients are typically paying £2,000 to £4,000, which is still a good amount of money. However, for the amount of stress that they give you, it's not always worth it. I remember I had clients before who were trying to call me every single day. They were making 100 changes just for a simple rent to service accommodation deal. I remember that day I said to myself, do you know what? It's actually not worth it doing these types of deals. Then when I came across Alex Hormozi's book, and he said, look, work with high-end clients, because you can now have that one client offer an amazing service, and what he's now going to pay you is going to be worth like 6 of your lower-end ticket clients. So that's what I did. I switched the business model where I have people, my sourcing agents, sourcing the rent-to-rent deals, and I now focus on the high-end deals. Now, the reason this is so beneficial is because with the business that I have now, we only focus on clients looking to spend £1 million plus in a certain area. Now, with that, we normally charge a 2% sourcing fee. So that means on average for each transaction, we're making about £20,000 per deal, in comparison to the previous strategy where we're only making £3,000. Now, as you mentioned, let's say, for example, you have a target of £100,000 per year. I only have to work with 5 clients a year to achieve that. Now, where previously, if I was sourcing a deal for £3,000, I'd have to work with 33 clients, which is a lot, just to reach that target of £100,000. This has allowed me to scale massively, where 80% of my revenue now actually comes from these high-end deals, and the 20% comes from the lower-end deals. One thing that's very crucial when working with these clients, though, is to have that trust and expertise. As I mentioned, and I always say, become the expert, because again, if these guys are now paying you £20,000, you're not just trying to find them any type of deal. You're actually providing them a service where you can make their life easier. You got to think, what are you doing that's going to make it worth their while to pay you that amount of money? Another reason why this is beneficial is because these clients are focused on the long-term value. they're just focused on a quick win to make £1,000 per month from a rent-to-rent deal. They're looking for something that's going to be beneficial for them, their family, and the rest of their heritage. So again, with them, they're being a lot more logical buyers. Whereas with the other type of clientele, they're a lot more emotional buyers because their first deal, they might have only £5,000 to their name, don't put all their money into one deal, and they want crazy expectations. So again, having that shift has helped me a lot through Alex Hormozi's principles. Now, the third way Alex Hormozi has helped me is through having irresistible offers. Now, some of you might be asking, what is irresistible offers? Now, there's a phrase that Alex Hormozi says, have an offer so good that people are afraid to say no. And with that, I use that with each service I'm offering to my client. Now, as I mentioned, although there's not as many buying agents or sources operating in the higher market, so where my competition is with firms like Savills and Knight Frank, who have been around for a long time, so have a lot more trust in the market. So I said to myself, how can I make an offer so good that people would rather pay me than pay Savills and Knight Frank and the rest of these companies? So now with my clients, they don't only just get a property source, they get in-depth data analysis, they get in-person videos, they get virtual tours, they get, and when we meet up with them, they get chauffeured around, they get help with if they need to find a school for their children, if they need to find a local tennis club, if they need a dog walking service, cleaners. They get like a whole concierge type feel because what we're selling to them is the experience, not just a result of a property. Now that not only has allowed me to get more referrals, such as the previous website I showed you, but has also allowed me to generate that USP in the market. So that way, although these other companies are a lot more experienced than myself, me having that personal touch will make them feel more remembered and more looked after than just working with another corporate company where they're seen as just a random number. For example, as I mentioned again in one of my previous videos, there was a client I sourced a deal for in Chelsea, and they was coming from the UAE. So from that, they had no idea about the best restaurants, the best shops, the best gyms to go to. So again, with my service, I provided them a list of restaurants, a list of shops, a list of the best gyms in the area, and a whole detailed pack, which made the experience a lot more easier. And again, they have recommended me so many clients since then. Now, lastly, how Alex Hormozi helped me is through systems to scale. Now, one thing I can't stress enough is you don't want to create yourself another job. You want to create yourself a business. So one thing that I had to realize is that I'm not an expert at everything. I'm only good at certain things, which I would say is connecting people, sales, and marketing. Whereas when it comes to operations, the legals, that is not my expertise. So I now have to hire people in place to do these roles. Not only that, there's also the system to actually track your leads. It's very important to have an hour process where you can track where leads are coming from. So I have a CRM which is built out where I know where my client's coming from, how much it costs to acquire each client, what their criteria is, all in a fixed and well-structured format. That way, if a property does come up, which I know sees from my clients, I have a list where I can just literally call them and send them over the deal and the details to make the process a lot more easier for myself. Not only this, but I also have like an email list where every single week I put out a lot of value, and then I put out a lot of emails of deals that they may potentially be interested in buying. Again, this is something I learned from Alex Hormozi, 3 pieces of value and 1 time you sell. So now in summary, Alex Hormozi has helped my business quadruple our revenue in 1 year through the 4 main methods. So if you have your own property business or you're in any other field and you're looking to scale it, I recommend applying these principles based to what you think you can use to make the highest ROI to your business. And I promise you it'll be worth it. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe. And also, if you want help with us making you apply this to your business, feel free to book a call with me or my team below, and we're happy to help you scale your property business straight away. So thank you guys for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.